Alright, thanks for tuning in. How about we go finish up this whole Wasteland Survival Guide nonsense?
I don't recognize you. New in town or something? I hope by something to do you mean a job. Otherwise you want to talk with Nova. I'm looking for someone to make a delivery. Interested? Hey, you're pretty smart for a Wastelander. I need you to deliver a message to my family. They live in a small settlement northwest of here. If you bring it, I'm sure my dad will pay you. I'll tell you more if you agree. Please, I could really use your help. Great. I'd like you to deliver this message to my family in the Arafu settlement. I haven't heard from them in months, and I'm worried. As soon as you get there, talk to Davis West. He'll be glad to pay you for the trip. Sure. Be glad to, since you're doing me a big favor and all. Arafu is northwest of Megaton, on an old overpass over the Potomac. If you follow what's left of the river, you can't miss it. No, not really. Maybe my letters just aren't arriving. Whatever you can do to get it there would sure be appreciated. Well, let's see. There's Evan King. He's like the sheriff of the town or whatever. Then there's my family, the Ewer family, and a lady who lives alone named Karen Shenzi. Okay. I couldn't tell you, really. I'd talk to Manya if you care that much. She's lived in Megaton longer than anyone. Hey, thanks again for doing this for me. It means a lot.
Dad says not to talk to strangers.
Now, actually, we were going to head to Arafu anyway, because that's where the repair bobblehead is at. Not going to pass up on 10 free repair points. I'm going to pass up on 10 free skill points, period, actually. Alright, so what I want to do here, I think I have all the pre-war books that I've collected on me right now. But if I put any in my lockers, I'll want to retrieve those, because I'm going to need those. They're going to be worth a good amount of money, actually. And then get rid of any other excess weight. Put up all my crafting materials, blah, blah, blah. This is kind of a routine that I run. Especially before going off on a major quest. Before we go to the pit, oh man. I'll be going bare bones. I think I'll probably take like a hunting rifle. Or a 10mm pistol or some crap like that. That's about it. Actually, you get the option to carry in a concealed weapon. But it's one of the most useless items in the game. The 32 pistol is a complete piece of shit. I mean, it's you'd be better off melee. You'd be better off just punching somebody than shooting them with that thing. It'd be a part of the game where that's essentially all you have to work with anyway. I don't know. The pit's really cool. It's one of my favorite DLCs in and of itself, besides the fact that it gives you like my favorite gun ever, which would make it good even if it sucked. But it's actually pretty good DLC. It's got a neat story to it. It's got a really good moral dilemma to sift through, and that it's pretty cool. Alright, so now, you know, I'm just going to find the closest spawn point to where we need to go. Probably, yeah, Jefferson Memorial. Yeah, that's close enough. Since we just crossed the little river here, and we're basically right there. There's a Talon Company camp up here also, and I'm definitely going to loot that place. I know there's a skill book there. Lots of stuff, like crafting stuff, meds, ammo, all that kind of thing. But it's pretty well guarded. This is actually one of the early, I guess you could say, tests they really put you to. A roving band of 3 of these guys looking for you because they got a contract on you is one thing, but where they're dug down in their own little bunker, basically, yeah, this is different. Plus, I believe they have a sentry bot too. And those things are no joke. They're not so bad from a distance unless you start shooting missiles at you every 5 seconds. That can get pretty hairy, but they're not so bad unless they're close up. That laser gatling that they've got close up, that can tear you up really fast. This little doorway right here, that's just a little raider den. I don't even believe there's a skill book in there. I've never personally found one. It's not like I go out of my way to explore down there, but it's a few raiders, and I think they have a stash with some ammo boxes and stuff, but just to save time, nothing real special down there. If there was some little funny Easter egg or something like that to go find, I would probably go down there just for giggles, but just to go kill a few raiders, that's just a waste of time. These guys are not a waste of time. These guys are worth taking out. It looks like I shot his missile launcher out of his hand, and he hasn't picked it back up yet, or I'd be seeing some missiles coming this way. Wonder if when I shot it out of his hand, I also broke it. You know, if it's in bad enough condition, I don't know if you can damage a weapon. So I guess you technically can. I mean, you can target it. Maybe you actually do damage to it also, or something. I don't know. Oh, Slickster. Oh, that was smart. The bitch set the car off on me. Yeah. Oh, okay, I'm lucky I got through that. Not a lot of damage. He just, like, crippled every part of my body. Alright. Whatever. That's cool. He killed one of his almost killed one of his homeboys while he was at it, so. Haha. No helmet, and he's taking headshots like a champ. Oh, come on, dude. I'll say just... Oh, they're worth 75 points apiece. Okay. Yes, I had a sniper. I was gonna say, I got a sniper rifle too. Well, maybe I don't. Alright. I'm gonna have to just run like a bitch. Heal up around the corner real quick. Alright, run, bitch. If you're a sniper, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna back up and shoot from range. That's kind of your job. I get it. Come on, man. Thank you. Wonder why he was only worth 45. Dude. Yeah, thank you. I've got some pulse grenades. I love these things. I just like the way they look. I think that's cool as shit. Almost like a mini EMP kind of thing. Very cool. I don't know what I got. Oh, probably a turret. Probably a turret gun. That's not gonna do it. I don't need to take any of those to the face either. Gun starts jamming. Seems like guns start jamming a lot earlier in Fallout 3 than they do in New Vegas. It seems like they got to get down pretty far before you have to start slapping the barrel and yanking on the trigger and stuff. But Here, geez, seems like, what, about 50% or less? Start to jam and give you problems. I sure would have liked that dude's sniper rifle. I'm not seeing it. Remember where I killed that guy. Well, that's not him. Let's sell that, I guess, but, certainly use that to repair the one I've got, or switch out, or whatever. I don't see it anywhere. What the hell? Sometimes with the ragdoll thing in effect, people and items can go flying for miles, like literally out of the entire game map, you know, type of thing. How many times you've been walking around and you'll just see an enemy just drop out of the sky? Like they just got nuked somewhere 100 miles away and they just land at your feet. That's happened to Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Both. Alright, just got a skill book out of that. Got my stealth boy back, that I just wasted. Keeping nuka grenades in mind. They require an Abraxo and a Quantum and a tin can. I think that's all you need. Alright. There we go. Just a little heads up, I made a pretty big mistake so far in leveling. I guess getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I did not sink near enough points into the explosive damage bonus. And I think you need a minimum of 50 explosives for each rank. Explosives expert or whatever it's called. But anyway, I'm kind of in that in-between area where I'm not really to the perks that I want yet. But I don't want to waste perks on things like, you know, skill points and stuff. And so now I'm going to go ahead and take, like, you know, Gunslinger and Commando, I guess, because I kind of have to. But anyway, that is just a mistake. See, I could take a couple ranks of Explosive Expert, and then when I start getting into the good stuff, like Silent Running and, you know, better criticals and all the things that I'm really looking forward to, you know. Now, Gunslinger and Commando, they come in handy, you know, if you're going to run around with 10mm submachine guns, assault rifles, pistols, what have you. It raises your accuracy in VATS, and I do use VATS sometimes. So, comes in handy, but I'd rather just straight up do more damage type of thing. Well, you know, you can do more damage hitting more often. If you get in a pinch, if an enemy's running by you and you can't track him, you know, sometimes you just pull out VATS and just, you know, shoot him in the head so he can't get anywhere type of thing. Sure enough. Comes in handy, I guess. So this is not a complete waste, but right about now, looking back, I can say normally I would have put more points into explosives and I'd be able to get, you know, a rank or two of that. Instead, I would probably resort back to like Commando and things like that later, when I literally don't have anything else to spend perk points on. I've got all the perks that I want, you know, that type of thing. But oh well, it's whatever. It's not going to make a drastic difference either way. But later on, when I am picking the perks that I actually do want, there's going to be some points in Explosives Expert that I'm not going to be able to put in there because I'm going to be, you know, getting other stuff. I'm hoping there'll be a level or two later where I'm in between. You know, like, you know, I've got everything I want. I'm at 17 and the next perk I want is at 18. So what do I pick at 17? You know, I mean, there may be one or two levels later where I can do that. But I'd have rather had the extra explosive damage early. For a grenade here and there, bottle cap mines, nuka grenades, all that good stuff. I mean, it all counts, so, yeah. Anyway. Big mistake. Mistake on my part, just pointing that out, let you guys know. If anybody's even roughly following along with the build. Kind of spanking myself for that one. All right, we got the library. This is a spawn point later in the game. I think you will have to have gone to Jefferson Memorial down into the basement to go do some main story stuff. We'll see it when we get there. I don't know. Most people watching this have already played this 1,000 times, so you know, spoilers probably aren't going to be a problem. But just as far as the main story goes, we'll wind up at Jefferson Memorial, and then after that, a new enemy will make its presence known, and this is one of their spawn points. They will drop down and drop off up to what, a half dozen enemies, and it's really a great place to get caps because you can take their armor and their gear and sell it for a lot. Plasma weapons are worth a lot in this game. Comparatively, considering, you know, what caps are worth in the economy, plasma weapons are really valuable. I guess once you get your barter up there and everything, they can be worth, oh geez, upwards of 1,000 caps a piece or something like that. And they're pretty plentiful. I mean, if you know where to look, you can get a good number of them. Like I say, caps won't be a problem later. Anyway, there's a skill book in that little safety silo shelter thingy. But before I go in the library itself, I always run across here. There's a lot of loot to be had over here. A couple skill books, and then you have this guy up here. I guess he's the local drug lab dude, you know? The local chemist or whatever. Anyway, apparently they're running a raider drug lab up here, and so take him out, go loot all his stuff. If you put this together with the library, this may be Minefield's pretty profitable, considering the amount of time it takes you to get through it, you know? Oh, great, I'm out of that ammo again. I need to start getting more 32 rounds. But, this is probably the most profitable of all the little Wasteland Survival Guide quests, trips. Empty this place out. There's a hotel right next to it, which we'll check that out. That's mainly for some skill books and some, there's a few ammo boxes. And then the library itself, it's really profitable. Wait till you see what we get for these pre-war books. How much it's worth to the people here. It's pretty nice. We're gonna keep coming across them here and there as we go through the game too, so it's like a kind of a continuing quest to turn those in. Alright, so we have a series of traps. This is the trickiest one. It's hard to grab the mine without grabbing those tin cans instead. I love the ambient music in the background right here. It's just cool, man. It's kind of a lonely music. About the only word I can put on it. It's just lonely, desolate out there. You're the lone wanderer out here, you know, in the wasteland, just you and your dog, and it just carries that feeling across. It's just one of the billions of things that I love about this game. Just wow. It's not just the visuals, but it's the music that goes along with it, and the narration, and the way people talk, and it's just everything, really. It's possible that once that raider's down, that thing doesn't get hostile. I'm not sure. But not gonna take any chances. Alright, so like if there's an achievement for disarming floor traps, then you'll get half your floor traps right here in this one area. Between the bear traps and the trip wires and the mines and the you name it. That's kind of ridiculous. Alright, so yeah, we got a drug lab going on here. It's not really quest related or anything, but I mean, how can you pass up all this stuff? Nope. Don't need that. So I got plenty of weight left, and I know I'm going to be heading straight to a merchant anytime soon. It's one thing. If I'm just getting into an area, and I've already almost filled up all my weight, yeah, I can look over the scotch bottles and stuff. But leaving, if I still got a few extra pounds to carry, oh yeah, come on with it. I'll take all of that. Alright, anyhow. Definitely worth coming up here for all the safes and the extra meds and chems and stuff. And then you have this over here. This is a, well, what used to be a hotel. This area right in front is also a random encounter spawn spot.
What do you need? I can get your fix. Anything you want. Cheap, too. Check it out. Sure. I got it all. Check it out. Give me a shout if you need anything else. Bye.
Yep. Wasteland junkie. And no, a nuclear war wouldn't cure addicts of their addictions. No, not even that would be enough. In fact, it'd give most people an excuse to get high. Honestly. See everything just go to shit around you, and yeah, if they didn't already have an excuse, that'd probably be a good one. Speaking of consolidating some weight. Not quite, huh? Alright. Let's see the ticker. There she is. Yeah, I could sell those too. They're worth a little bit. Get a fully repaired Chinese pistol, and they actually are worth a little bit of something. At least for right now. Eventually you start looking at what something's worth compared to the weight. Like, you can have a gun that's worth, say, 500 caps and a set of armor that's worth 500 caps. And you're like, well, they're worth the same. And then you look, the armor weighs 36 pounds, the gun weighs 2 pounds. And it's like, no, actually they're not worth the same. You could carry like 20-something of those guns for the same weight. And just sometimes I'll pass over a high-value item if it just weighs a ton, so I can pick up, you know, 20 or 30 or more smaller value items. That's usually the way I look at it. That's old Oblivion thinking. Is I'd rather carry a potion that weighs half a pound for 100 gold than carry a sword that weighs 7 pounds for, say, 200 gold. Alright, there was a skill book there. I believe there's one, at least one more upstairs. But we got some raiders to fight through to get to it. I am hoping for Fallout 4 that they have the aim down the sights. I'm sure we'll find that out here at E3. What is that? It's not even a week away, I don't think now, or at least their press conference isn't too far away. Next Monday? That's, I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, 14th, 17th, something like that. Not too far away. But I think we'll find out. I'm sure if they're going to do a whole press conference for themselves, apart from E3 itself, then they're prepared to show us, you know, the big guns, show us the good stuff. So I'm assuming we'll get hopefully some gameplay, probably, you know, an extended trailer, a good thorough look at, you know, what they're going to offer. I mean, they've always done so in the past. They did that with Skyrim. They gave an in-depth analysis of everything they were doing new compared to Oblivion, like, you know, the dual-wielding mechanic, how they had restructured, you know, their dungeon design and some stuff, and, you know, so on and so forth. Everything from art to quest design and you name it, you know, upgrade in the way you can navigate through menus and all. I mean, they covered all that stuff with Skyrim. And when Oblivion came out, they did a huge deal on that. And went in depth into exactly, you know, how they came up with what they did and what they were doing. I don't recall anything along those lines for New Vegas, but that wasn't Bethesda. So, I'm sure there was just as in depth something over Fallout 3 when it was revealed. So anyway, I'm assuming we'll get a good look, get a lot of our questions answered. You can't answer every question, right? But I'm sure they'll answer a lot of them. They'll know we have concerns. Honestly, my only concern about Fallout 4 is it's new people writing it. You know, the people that did Oblivion and Fallout 3, they've been gone. You know, they were gone before Skyrim even came out. That's why Skyrim had such a different feel, and not necessarily for the better. You know, looks and combat mechanics and all that, that's great, you know. And I mean, you know, if fighting's a big part of the game, then the fighting should be as fun as possible. And the fighting was even better in Skyrim, you know, as far as the combat mechanics go, and even the look, you know, of your character in third person. It almost made the game worth playing in third person. But as far as story and an immersive game world and feeling a part of the world and just getting lost for hours, yeah, you can still do the lost for hours things. You can run around picking flowers and watching deer prance through the woods and stuff. I mean, that's all cool and all that, but the magic feeling of like exploring ruins and things like that I was just missing a little bit, you know. It's just me. I'm just talking for myself. Can't knock the game. I mean, its sales were through the roof and it's still being modded and played, you know, by millions today. So, I mean, there's no knocking that. And I'm going to play it again. I'll do a Let's Play series on it or something like that. At least do some builds, just do some gameplay stuff, something. You know, I'd like to get back into that because I kind of missed the game. But there's a certain magical, sentimental attachment with Oblivion that I had, and it's kind of like the difference between Fallout 3 and New Vegas. New Vegas had some flash, it had some new things added to it, and they were great. The aim down the sights was amazing. Hardcore mode, I wish it was in Fallout 3. I won't even deny that. But searching familiar areas post-nuclear, like Washington, D.C., and things that are, you know, I'm from the States. Someone from some other part of the world may not be able to relate to it like someone from the States can, in that these are like national landmarks. These are parts of our history and stuff. And to see them destroyed and get that sense of loss and that whole post-apocalyptic feel, they got that here in spades. New Vegas was a desert. After the war, it's still a desert. I mean, you know, it's a big empty desert. And you got some random buildings here and there to break up the monotony. You know, you run so far and you need to come across something. I don't know, a tent out in the middle of nowhere, or a horse cart, or a shack or something, and go in there and find a skill book and say, okay, that was a place to explore. But it had no relevance. It was just something to break the monotony. Here, each place has its own story. Here, each place is relevant. Like, I walk into this library, it's like, wow, you know.
The authority of the Brotherhood of Steel. Leave immediately. You're awfully brave to be walking around down here by yourself. Are you scavenging the ruins? It seems that we have similar goals in mind. It's rare to meet someone who has proper priorities. I am Senior Scribe Yearling, Order of the Word. I have a proposal for you, if you're interested. Good. My task here is to collect the written works of those who came before, in order to supplement the Brotherhood archives at the Citadel. Although most of the pre-war books have been destroyed, there are a few that have survived. But finding a book in these ruins is difficult. I could have 1,000,000 initiates to comb the ruins, and I'd still never come close to recovering every book that remains undamaged. Precisely. The collected knowledge of a lost age is worth far more than any weapon. So, return here with any books that you find in good condition. I will compensate you for every volume that you bring me. Think on it, and return when you have books to offer me.
I don't have to do too much thinking about that.
Books represent the collected knowledge of the world before. Everything from a child's storybook to a detailed technical guide has value. By assembling and recording this knowledge, we scribes can analyze it and use it to further the goals of the Brotherhood. Whatever our elder decides that those goals are, that is. It is not my place to criticize Elder Lyons. All I will say to an outsider is that he is not a traditionalist. That is all. The front desk computer has access to the card catalogs, but it appears that it's lost the connection to the main archives. Here's the password. Now, you might be able to find the central computer further in there, but I'm afraid you'll have to do that without me. I'm a scholar, not a fighter. Excellent. How many are you willing to trade? Very well. Here is your reward. Use it well, and return with more books when you can.
Tasty. That's what I'm talking about.
Steel be with you.
100 caps apiece? That's just money in the bank there. Alright, so, basically, we have... The first objective is to get the card catalog. We can get that right here and leave, but, considering we've done all the objectives and optional objectives up to this point, if we go a little farther in and go get the actual archives themselves, loaded onto our Pip-Boy, give those to Maura Brown, then we'll get the full reward for the Wasteland Survival Guide. And it is pretty significant. Now, I went the endurance route. So what I'm going to get is 6% damage resistance. It's basically 6% to your armor, period. Had I gone the snide route, I could have gotten +3 critical chance. And I think my luck's high enough and all that. And that's not to me the holy grail of the Wasteland Survival Guide. Although that would be my second option if I wasn't really worried about the damage resistance. But playing a light or no armored character, it's going to come in handy. It's going to be nice when you're getting shot with lasers to not get it one shot, hopefully. To at least be able to take 2 hits so you can get around the corner. Hit a stim pack real quick, that type of thing. So, anyway, just preference, but just to make you aware. Everything else like intelligence and agility and perception, they give you perks. Their perks are a few skill points. It's kind of like picking a perk in your perk tree for like, you know, small guns or medicine or sneak or something. And basically they'll give you like up to 6 points each, I think, in 2 skills related to that particular thing. Like if you go with agility, it'll be like sneak and I don't know, lockpick or something, you know, just whatever. Or perception is like lockpick and explosives, and the other one is sneak and maybe small guns, maybe. I think it's like 2, 4, and 6 points depending upon what rank you get. Now, since we did all the objectives and the optional objectives, we'll get the highest rank, the Survival Guru perk, and that'll give us, the way I went, that's going to give me 6% damage resistance, which be handy enough. Tearing them up with that minigun. Better than tearing me up with that minigun. Alright, there's quite a few skill books here. Be a bunch more pre-war books here. I'm not going to claim to find absolutely everything. I'm going to try to get all the skill books that I know about, though. And, seems like there may be a Quantum Nuka-Cola or 2, you know, that type of thing. Anyway, we'll loot the place. At least get our other objective out of the way. Go get the archives downloaded. And then head back. Earlier when I was making comparisons between the games, wasn't saying this is good, that's bad, blah, blah, blah. It was just different crews developing the game are, of course, going to have different ideas, different agendas. They're going to focus on different things. They're going to have a different vision in mind for that game. And, you know, it's going to meet, it's going to tickle some people's fancy and then not others, you know. Like, you know, New Vegas, I played it a lot. I mean, it didn't miss me completely. It was just missing that something. Like, I like what I had, but wow, I would give all that for this, you know, type of thing. But I hope they take the best of these ideas and then incorporate them into Fallout 4. My only hesitation, if I have any, is just that I'm worried about the overall feel that they're going to give me in the game world. Are they going to go for a pretty plastic empty wrapper like they did with Skyrim, or are they going to give me some substance like they did with Oblivion? In other words, are they going to bring in a crew that brings in the spirit of the game? Do I get the post-apocalyptic feel? Do I go from dark humor on one hand to tragedy on the other? When I go down into an abandoned subway tunnel, do I get the feeling like this is, who knows what the hell has happened here since the bombs fell? This dank, dark place down here where anything could grow, anything could happen, and then discovering that it actually has. You know, raiders and murderers and psychos and dope fiends have taken up residence there, or mutants have grown up there, or you've got some mad scientists down there performing abominable experiments down there, just anything that might happen in a lawless post-apocalyptic world. I want that. I want that sense when I go into any new place that I'm going to discover some new thing. That it's like walking through an art museum, and each wall holds a different painting. You know, it's that type of thing. I get that. Fallout 3. Missed that in New Vegas. But that's, you know, like I said, that was Obsidian. They had a different plan. They had a different vision for that game. They took, really the only resemblance to Fallout 3 was the art in the skins, which they took from, you know, pre-existing art that was already there, and then just basically, you know, copied and pasted it in their game. If you notice, like, a lot of the things from the buildings to the doors to the people to the clothes and the dress, there's some changes in armor designs and stuff, but the overall look is the same. The texturing, the coloring, the overall animations, you know, they're very similar. Because, you know, they took a lot of that. It helped, I'm sure it speeded up development greatly. They didn't have a whole lot of time to work on New Vegas. But a large chunk of the time-consuming stuff was already in place. You know, they didn't have to get their artists, you know, designing all this fresh new stuff. They had a lot of that stuff already in place. You know, a lot of the coding was already there, so I'm sure that helped them a lot. But for this, from what I can tell, they've come up with an entirely new engine. I don't know if they're going to use a variation of the engine they used for Skyrim, but, you know, I mean, this being next gen, whatever it is, they ought to be able to get the money's worth out of it, you know. Hopefully squeeze it for all it's worth. Push it to the limits. Yeah, my only worry is just in the... It won't even be the story. You can have a good story, but how is it portrayed? Like, how much of it is just told to me and how much of it do I have to discover for myself? How much of the lore is just going to be out there in dialogue and conversation? And then how much of it is hidden, like on a computer terminal over here, or something that I read, a note that I pick up? You know, something that's passed along, you know, sent to my Pip-Boy, something I hear on the radio, you know, something I see. You know, it's just some little clue that I find if I really, you know, if I catch something in the environment that my eye normally would have missed, that type of stuff. How much of the lore in the story is passed along like that? You know, how far are they going to go like that? And that's, they took extra time developing it. We all expected Fallout 4 to be talked about a year or two ago, you know? And they waited till now, so they definitely spent some time with it. And I'm sure, you know, having all this new next-gen software at their disposal, there's a lot more to play with. A lot more toys in the toy box, so to speak. So, I'm just kind of curious what they're going to do with it. That's like my only hesitation. It's just a little worry because it's not so much... I don't think I'm going to get a bad game either way. Even if they only go half measure, right? And only do half of what they could have done with the game, it's still going to be awesome. But am I going to have that nagging feel in the back of my head, like, how great could this have been had the old guy still been there and been doing the writing? You know, I don't want to get that. I'm kind of scared of that feeling. I would like to say, hey man, they did a lot with this. This is awesome. You know, I couldn't have done any better myself, type of thing. As long as I get that, then I'm cool. But I want it to ooh and wow me. I want to be like, holy crap, this is friggin' amazing. I want to experience the game, not just play it. You know, and play any game, but I want to experience it. That's the main thing. I hope they get that across. I think we'll get an inkling of that at E3. Get an idea of what they've done. If they've got, you know, what I hate is companies nowadays going in all these new directions. They want to try something new. They want to improve on this. They want to listen to the demanding of whiny little spoiled, lazy crybabies who are tired of actually having a challenge in their games. And so they cater to that, and they rewrite and they water down and they make games. They dumb them down to the point that it's like, wow. It takes away from the whole game experience itself. All for the sake of, you know, maybe getting a few extra bucks. And I don't know. I you know, honestly, if you've got a fan base, people are going to buy your game anyway. You know, no need to do that. So what if you sell 2 or 3 less copies, but you keep all your loyal fans loyal? I'd rather have that personally. You know, they're going to make their money back. That's not going to be a problem. They've probably already made it back just in pre-orders alone. I wouldn't doubt it. Hell, I paid for the game already. I'm proud to admit that. I paid for it as soon as I could. So, only thing I'm looking for is a collector's edition. That's all I'm waiting on, for them to announce something like that and hope I can get in on one. I'll spend the extra 40, 50 bucks. Yeah, personally, it's worth it to me. This isn't, you know, this is top tier gaming here. These are the types of games that you have to prove me wrong. You have to disrespect me as a customer and a player of your games to the point that you turn me away from your company. You know, they got me with Oblivion. They let me down a bit with Skyrim, personally, but I'm still there. You know, still playing this. They still got my loyalty and stuff. They would have to go that extra measure to basically change everything they do and become a different company and start putting out completely different games to totally lose me completely. So I just hope that loyalty is well placed. And no, of course I didn't let that Brotherhood of Steel guy die on purpose so I can get his holo tag. There's going to be somebody collecting holo tags later, kind of like the pre-war books. They'll be collecting those little ID tags that they've got, and they don't weigh anything, and you can pick them up as you go, but it requires a Brotherhood of Steel death to get one. Well, sucks to be him. Guess I'll take his tag and run. I think this is the last room. I think this is where the archives are. Certainly well protected. No, wait. No, this isn't it, is it? No, this isn't it. I think we have to take, like, a back passage. Okay, kind of remembering now. It's been a while since I've been here. I hope I don't forget where all the skill books are at. Also, if I remember, you can go... This is like 2 wings of the library, you know, like an East and West wing or whatever, you know. I think one's called the Children's Wing and whatever. But I think the wing we're in now, you can actually drop into the other wing. You don't have to leave this area and go through another door. I think you literally drop down into it. They're all kind of interconnected. If I remember right, I'm not sure. We'll see when we get there. But the room where we're looking for the archives kind of looks like this room a little bit. But, it's down like a back hallway. Yeah, we got to go through a bunch more stuff to get there. This would be too easy. But there is a pre-war book there, though. I'll definitely take that. And all this ammo. Alright, cool beans. Let's get out of here. I'm trying to remember exactly what I'm looking for. Actually, I think the archives are right up here. Down a back hallway. This looks right. Yeah, and there's a turret around here, right? Yeah, okay, that's what that computer's for. Well, that's cool. Like I say, I'm gonna kind of chill a little bit on the XP. Point out the computers as we go, you know. I mean, anybody watching that's doesn't have the trophy or the achievement yet for hacking a certain number of computers, that along with speech challenges, which I'm going to try to get all the speech checks that I can to, or at least point them out as we get there. Like, you know, Vera Weatherly, those are kind of optional. You don't need those, but I think she gives you like 3 or 4 by herself. There's also a doctor in Underworld that gives you a couple, if I remember right. In fact, there's a bunch of people in Underworld that give you speech checks. I guess ghouls aren't very trusting. You need to convince them that you don't discriminate against ghouls before they'll talk to you or something. But anyway, so certain places where you can get that. That is missable though. I mean, if you don't have a high speech skill and you don't pre-save and you know, keep reloading till you pass the speech check, then you can just miss out on them. Straight up. You need quite a few. I think you need 50. Maybe it's only 25. I think it's 50. I think in New Vegas it's like 25. But in this one you need a lot of them, if I remember right. I don't know. I remember it's one of the last achievements I got, actually. Okay, I just happen to know that there's a whole pack of raiders back here, so we're gonna let them suck on those landmines. There we go. We use them all. Yeah, come on this way. Yeah. How do you like that? I think one of them has a missile launcher. That's not going to be cool. Ah! She hit her own friend with it. All right. How do you like that? Oh, wow.
The hell with this!
Blow up with a squishy sound. Alright, good deal. Alright, remember not to leave my dog up here. That's one thing when you tell dog meat to wait, is remembering to go back and tell him to unwait. Or else he'll still be... Oh, I guess after so many days, he'll eventually just wander back to Vault 101 and feel like you don't love him anymore. I always feel like a complete douchebag when that happens, so... make sure to keep him along. Your loyal road dog, man. This little heads up, I'm going to go experiment with Elder Scrolls Online. I was not going to bother with that game, mainly because, you know, the peak of hype where I would have probably gotten it at some point, just it being Elder Scrolls, even though it's not Bethesda technically, it's Elder Scrolls. And being online, open world, all of Tamriel, I want to see the Imperial City again, just for nostalgia's sake. That peak, the peak of that wave, passed me by a long time ago. They delayed console release for so long that I'm kind of wondering if they just ever would. You know, and then I heard less and less people talking about it, and I considered, you know, if it was that big, I figured there'd be a lot of hype. But I'm not in touch with a lot of PC gamers a lot of the time because I, you know, primarily play consoles. So most of my friends list, you know, includes people on, you know, PlayStation or whatever. And so I guess there could be some of it to that. I wasn't aware just how many videos were out on like builds and stuff like that, different things you can do, and it looks like fun. What impresses me is the animations, the look, the way your character looks and stuff, everything from hair to the armor and stuff. And if it's a huge open world like that, it might be worth playing just to run around and explore a little bit, just to go play. Oh, there's Dogmeat. I was wondering where his panty breath was coming from. I heard him, I just couldn't find him. Anyway, I'm gonna go play with that. I don't know. Like I say, it's already been out. The PC users have probably sifted through all the good stuff that you could make videos about and stuff. I always keep my channel in mind when I go to play a new game is what could I do with this, or will this just be for me? You know, and I don't know. I may stream it. It'd be something to stream. Haven't really had a lot to stream since I stopped streaming Inquisition. I did stream a little bit of Mass Effect for a day, but Twitch was acting up that day. Haven't been much back into that. Nobody's been bugging me about it, so I'm assuming nobody's really missing it. It's great for me. If it was, the feels were real, you know, getting back into Mass Effect. Been thinking about it and finally got to play a little bit and got the old familiar feels. Got to create another Shepard, so that's there. But I'd like to stream something on PS4. It's a little easier. I think a big percentage of my followers on Twitch follow through the PlayStation. Because I think that's where most of the people were hanging out, you know, when we were doing Inquisition. That was a lot of fun. I mean, people hanging out, just heeing and hawing, you know, rubbing elbows and being stupid and stuff. It was great. So I'd like a little more of that. Not as big a cry for Inquisition. I think that's faded a bit. Although I may actually go get the Jaws of Hakan, however you say that. I may. It says a lot, though, if the game was really just had me by the short hairs, that DLC would have been downloaded the second it was available on PlayStation Network, and I've been playing it ever since. It'd have been that type of thing. Right now, honestly, I'm seriously considering whether I'm even going to go bother. It's pretty expensive for DLC, and it's like, you know, something I don't really feel like doing. Well, shit, then why do it? You know, it's a game. If you don't feel like it, hell no. I think that kind of speaks a lot for itself, and it's a shame, actually. But it is what it is. This, on the other hand, this is good all day long. Doesn't matter what day of the week it is. Fallout 3 is... It's always time for Fallout 3. Man, I hope they do the same thing with Fallout 4. I really do. I hope I have these same feels where years later I'm going back to play just because. Had all the achievements, had all the trophies forever, and still just going back to play just because it's amazing. That's what I want. Even if the game's not super big, even if the graphics aren't super perfect, hyper realistic, hyper textured, I don't care. I mean, I love graphics, but if the game's amazing, it makes the graphics better. Because what you're seeing plays into the whole feel of the game. It's once again, it's kind of like saying, it's like you go and you say, I love the color orange, but I hate red and yellow. Okay, well, red and yellow make orange. You may hate red and yellow individually, but what's the whole picture? When they come together, what do you have? You know, and so it's that type of thing. Kind of annoying right now is about the only thing you're hearing about Fallout 4 is bitching about the graphics and people bitching about the people bitching about the graphics. And then when you come in to say, hey, why are we doing this? Then they accuse you of bitching about the people that are bitching about the, and it's just this continual, and it's like, I think we're missing the point here. Is the game good or not? Shit, nobody even knows. All we've seen is, you know what, a 2-minute trailer, and which was a pretty good trailer considering what I thought we might get. We get an announcement, a few screenshots, a lot of mystery, and a lot of hype. They went out of their way to give us what looked like some game footage and some ideas, and throw in just enough little stuff in there to keep you guessing and to give you some clues and let your mind wander a little bit. I thought that was great. A lot more than what I thought I was going to get at their first announcement, you know. So, tell you what the hell's going on in here? We got somebody's minigun glitched. He's probably not even here. All we're hearing is the sound. That's funny. I'll be all over. My channel will probably be dedicated to Fallout 4 when that comes out, just like it was to Inquisition, and it actually resulted in an entire playthrough of Origins, Dragon Age 2, and Inquisition, just to do the series. And so I have 3. I have a partial New Vegas. That was really just for the build. Probably a mistake on my part, not just going and doing a complete playthrough, but my inspiration to carry that game any farther than reaching New Vegas itself it felt more like a chore than fun, and so that's probably not wise. If you know, I'd like to give you guys my best, and I wouldn't consider that my best. If there's something that I'm just not inspired to do, then to do that, it'd be like reluctantly. And I don't think that would come across well. Or I think it would come across exactly for what it was. You know, a big part of sharing my gameplay is to share what I see and what I experience here, and to share that along with you guys. And if it's something you hadn't seen before, then even better, because you can say, hey, I got to go try that for myself. And that's like the whole idea, for you guys to have a crap ton of new fun with a game.
Welcome back. Have you been successful in your search for books? Excellent. How many are you willing to trade? Very well.
Take them all.
Here is your reward. Use
I
it
love you,
well,
man.
and return with more books when you can.
Sure, right. I will be back. But
Steel
and for those of you that play along and you've already completely mastered the game and know twice as much about it as I do, but you can play along with me and remember, you know, the feels, what it was like. Oh, I remember being there, and oh, that was a lot of fun. Oh, when I did that, I did this instead. Or when I built my character, I always go this way instead of that way. That's still just as good, because that's just sharing in the fun. That's you know, spreading love for the game. So, you know, totally about that. If I'm not loving it, I don't know about sinking a bunch of time into making a bunch of videos on something, because it's like, wow, it's going to come across that way too. Like, okay, guys, I have to do this because you're twisting my arm, and you know, I'm crying uncle. Screw that, you know. And nobody's doing that anyway. Y'all are pretty much like, hey, what are you doing next? Oh, cool.
Got something to sell?
So it's all good.
Is it there? Are there books? Oh, can I go borrow some? Really? A whole library's worth of data? Right there? Oh, that's great news. So, what did you find? Tell me about it. Does it mean that it'll be a guard catalog? You see, because... Oh, never mind.
It's just the worst jokes
Wow,
ever.
if you knew the words card catalog, I wonder if there'll be one down there once I tell the world about it. Oh, and here's a book of mine and some caps for your research. Think of it as pay for a civilization worth of overdue books. Yep, that's the last bit for the toughest survival guide in the wastes. Survivors of the world, rejoice! And everyone else too. For all your hard work, I want you to have this mini nuke. I kept meaning to use it to dig a well, but honestly, it just makes me nervous. Now, I just need to do a few last tweaks, and it'll be ready to print and distribute. Thanks for all the help. Oh my, it's brilliant. Even I'm astounded by my genius. Oh, no, it's more than that. By our genius. I'll share these with the traders, and soon everyone will know about the Wasteland Survival Guide. But now, the very first copy of our book goes to you. It wouldn't nearly be as good without your input. You're the real Wasteland Survival Guru.
All right. Go take a look at this perk. Afterwards, I think I'll do a little selling, go put some stuff up in the house, and then we'll get on to, we'll probably head towards the pit. I want to go get the
Come back
lockpick bobblehead and
soon.
stuff. But anyway, we'll get to all that. All right, but if you go look at the survival, you can have survival something, survival expert, or survival guru. Guru is where you've done all the objectives and optional objectives. And you notice it says, along with radiation and poison resistant stuff, you get damage resistance. All right, and that's what you do from endurance. If you had gone with the snide responses, you'd get +3 critical hit chance. Anyway, but right there along with toughness, for me, that plays in well. Makes up for a lack of armor. There is even a point where with toughness and with that, and with a special perk you can get from going to Oasis and destroying Harold's Heart and all that, and so on and so forth, you can get your damage resistance basically maxed. Right? Anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, click that button up top. All right. For the rest of this Let's Play, click that image there in the middle. Appreciate you guys hanging out. All right. And y'all take care. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.